a lot of people got on me for for saying after the Tampa Bay game. I didn't make anything after the Tampa Bay game because it was a primetime game, and I just don't have time to make these podcasts after primetime games. I had a lot going on at work. But a lot of people got on me for saying, oh, Jalen Hurts, you're already giving up on him, but you didn't give the same leeway for Carson Wentz. Let me tell you why that's fair and completely unfair. It's fair because, yes, I will say right now that I got sucked into the cult. I got sucked into the cult of Carson Wentz, and I got sucked into the cult of Carson Wentz really hard. And it was one of those things where, I saw all the things that he was able to do, and I saw all the ways he was able to be successful, and I was someone who thought this is something that is always going to happen. It's always going to translate to the field. We're always going to see a successful player out of Carson Wentz. And I never came out and said that Carson Wentz was going to be an elite quarterback. I mean, I left the possibility open, because we were able to win a Super Bowl. He had an MVP caliber season. It's just hard for you to reconcile that, and it's very easy to go ahead and blame other people. And it wasn't until that Cowboys game with Ben DiNucci where I was really like, okay, yeah, it's not just the wide receiver's fault. It's not just the coach's fault. It's not just the play calling's fault. It's this guy's fault. And I had hoped that he would stay an Eagle long enough to reconcile what he was able to do, but he wasn't able to do that, and the team split ways with him. So I will say that in all fairness, I would say that I'm starting to give up on Jalen Hurts a lot sooner than I ever did Carson Wentz. But I think that it's also an unfair comparison because Carson Wentz was a first-round draft pick. He was a second overall pick, and he was expected to be the future of the franchise. And, the first year was, decent for a rookie. The second year was great. The third year was, a missed beat. He had good statistics, but he didn't have the wins to back it up. And then the fourth year, we really thought, look at what he's able to do with no help, no receiver, bad coaching. Look at what he's able to do. And then the fifth year, everything just hit the fan. I do think that the drafting of Jalen Hurts really affected him. It really made him think that the management and the front office doesn't trust him. And why would you play for a front office or a team that doesn't trust you? So it was very difficult to see a divorce like that. Believe me, I've had my fair share of divorces, being from a broken family. But the fact of the matter is that it is so clear as day, and it could be seen as clear as day from anybody who really kept track of the draft, that Jalen Hurts was a reach. A huge reach. Jalen Hurts, the earliest he should have been selected was the third round. The earliest. And I really believe that, we're playing Jalen Hurts just to get the value out of him because we drafted him in the second round. And you really have to, a draft pick if they're a quarterback. Because if you don't, then you're essentially claiming that you're bad at drafting. And I think that's the crux of the argument. Jalen Hurts has a specific skill set, and it's clear that he has talent. You see him on the field, it's clear he has talent, but he's got discount talent. He's really the guy who you really expect him to be kind of like a Lamar Jackson, because both of those guys do have a specific skill set, and that is their skill set. But the difference is the fact that a guy like Lamar Jackson plays beyond that skill set. I mean, that guy is someone who can read a defense. When people say that Lamar Jackson is just a running back who can throw. Well, who they're really talking about is Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts is a one-look read kind of guy. He escapes the pocket way too much. You really have to be able to scan your first and second progressions in order to be able to be successful, and that's just not something he does. And back to it being completely unfair, Carson Wentz being a first-round quarterback, you would say, as a rookie or a guy who's played less than 16 games, you have more time in order to analyze how good he is. He has time. Like a guy like Justin Fields, he probably has more time and more leeway because he was a first-round draft pick. Jalen Hurts was a second-round quarterback, and he really doesn't have the leeway because he wasn't expected to be that franchise type of player. And we're seeing it on the field as we speak right now. He's just not that guy. And I know that bugs a lot of people who want him or are willing him to be this great player. But the fact of the matter is, this just speaks more to this. There's a cult of Jalen Hurts at this point. And I'm not attached to the guy. I hope he does well. He's the quarterback of my team. But I know that he probably won't be any good. I think in my head he probably won't be that type of player. And that is why Carson Wentz got more leeway. It's all based on how worthy the pick was. And the way it is, Jalen Hurts isn't as worthy, and the way that the front office is, the fact that Howie Roseman should be on thin ice, Jalen Hurts is just not as worthy to Howie Roseman because I hope he's shaking in his boots and he's scrambling in order to get something done, because Howie Roseman has done nothing over the past 4 years to make you feel excited as an Eagles fan. I mean, I watched that game because I watch every week. I'll watch a train wreck. I watched 12 and a half games 11 and a half games last year, which were complete train wrecks. And even the games that the Eagles won were train wrecks. I think the only game that the two games that the Eagles won that weren't complete train wrecks was the 49ers game and the Saints game. That was it. And people just need to get that reconciled. Again, it's nothing against Jalen Hurts personally. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think that he has a bad bone in his body. But not only is the coaching staff in over their heads, Jalen Hurts is in over his head as a quarterback. He's just not ready. He's not ready. And it's hard for people to say, but I would venture as far as to say that, I'm not saying that Gardner Minshew would make the team great, or even Joe Flacco would make the team great, but you got to see what you have in those other two guys. And I'm not saying to bench Jalen Hurts because I think that this team is going anywhere with those other guys. I just think that the team made a mistake. The team made a mistake making him a leader. He's not a leader. He's not the quarterback. It's very clear. And he cannot be the focal point of the offense. Because even Carson Wentz was the focal point of the offense, and he had some success at one point. You make Jalen Hurts the focal. The other teams are hoping that Jalen Hurts will become the focal point of the offense, and they'll just tee off on him.